as an artist, my job is to be creative every single day, right? Therefore, if I'm not being creative and I'm making the same thing over and over again, what exactly is the point of the job, right? For me, if it's boring for me to make, it's boring for you to read. I gotta go on the same adventure that y'all go on. I gotta make it feel fresh to me so it feels fresh to you. That means I gotta push myself in moments, and I gotta put myself in uncomfortable situations. The truth is that every time I start a book, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm always afraid. I know some of y'all in here hate writing, right? Put your hand in the air if you have a hard time with it, if writing is a struggle for you. All right, so a lot of y'all. So here's the truth. The truth of the matter is that writing is a struggle for me too. Also, another truth that people don't be wanting to say is that writing is also a struggle for your teachers. They don't like to tell y'all that, but it's true. Most of us ain't got no clue how to use a civic code. Most of us don't know where to put the commas, just like we be telling y'all. Right? Like, this is all a real thing, and the reason why is because language is growing and it's changing and it's evolving. Because we're growing and changing and evolving, right? I'm not the person that I was last year. I'm not the person that I was last week. So when I sit at the page to make something new, I gotta make that new thing as a new person. Because I'm not the same person, right? If I'm living the life I'm supposed to be living, same with all of y'all, by the way. If you're living the life to your best ability, there's no way that you are the same person today that you were last year. You better not be, right? Your friends should be like, oh my God, you changed now. I hope so. If I'm doing it right, I'm changing. And if I'm changing, my work has to be changing too. Anybody got time to make the same thing over and over and over again? What a waste of time. It's also disrespectful to the readers. It's basically saying to y'all, like, y'all take anything. This is also why I have a hard time with how y'all be letting rappers get away with it, but that's a whole other thing. You know what I mean? But like, let's do something fresh, let's do something new, let's be creative, right? Our greatest gift, the greatest weapon that we all have is our imaginations. If you don't use it, you lose it.
I had a thought while you were talking, but I was going to say that it seems like there are a lot of successful authors who do kind of have the same format. And so I guess it just depends on what style it is, but we appreciate that about your writing and your books.
You know why they have the same format though, because they're successful. And everybody's scared to miss. And see, once you hit, then you realize you ain't got no way to go but down. And so you figure I'll be willing to hit again. Whereas for me, it's like, let's go ahead and risk the loss. Let's risk it. And if I lose, if I miss, then I miss. But at least I know I did what I wanted to do.
So, Look Both Ways is relatively new. We just received our copies last week. I know that there are some who haven't. They've read Long Way Down. They're ready for something new. I'd love for you to share with us a little bit about this new project you have.
Look Both Ways. So how many of y'all walk home from school? Anybody walk home from school? All right, so everybody who walk home from school, this is something that y'all know that don't nobody else know. So here's the thing, when you walk home from school, it's basically like 10 or 15 minutes of unsupervised time, right? When I was a kid and I was walking home from school, that was the only time in the day with no teachers, with no parents, with nobody but me and my homies in the street. I just had to get to the house, but however, whatever route I took to get there, and whatever we experienced along the way, was on us. And nobody was there to protect us. Nobody was there to say, don't do that. And so everything we learned about the world, good, bad, ugly, or interesting, we learned it on that 15-minute walk home. You know, and I wanted to sort of honor young people and honor the autonomy of young people. What does that mean? That means I wanted to write about young people being wholly themselves. Just being who you are when ain't nobody around. When the teachers aren't there to tell you who you can't be, when your parents ain't there to tell you who you better not be, right? I wanted to write about who you actually are when no one who is my age is around to sort of govern your life. And so that's what that book is all about. It's hilarious. It talks about all the stuff that I did as a kid, like, you know, just ridiculous things. I remember my homeboy was trying to, like, you know, build up the courage to go and tell some girl that he liked her. And so he was like, yo, he was like, you ashy, bro, so we gotta get you right, you know what I mean? So we got lotion all over his face, and we try to get them together. And they put, you know what I'm saying? They got, you know, some of y'all know what I'm talking about, some of y'all don't, you know what I'm saying? And we tried to get it, he had like crusty lips, you know what I mean? And so he was like, bro, that ain't gonna really get it, that ain't gonna work. And so my man gave him what he thought was Vaseline, but it was vapor rub. Oh! And so then basically his whole face was on fire, right? And so all of that's in the book. Like I wrote that in the story, like all that kind of stuff are in these books. And are in these stories. And I just think, if you walk home from school, you know exactly what this is about.
So speaking of your characters, and I was going to say, in the past we've watched our book club as well, myself. We watched a lot of your YouTube speeches and a lot of your visits, and we really perked up when you talked about kind of your purpose behind writing. And when we were growing up, I think we're around the same age. So when we were growing up, children's books did not have characters that looked like you. And so was this a motivation for you in writing? And then can you talk a little bit about this in children's literature and the direction it's going?
You know what it was? It wasn't that there was no black characters. There were black characters. They just weren't. It just wasn't. They were black characters who were in the 1960s, 70s. It was slaves, the civil rights movement. It was, Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry. It was like all this. And all of that's great. You know what I mean? It wasn't even that those books are bad. They aren't bad. But up until that point, up until the 1980s, every generation had their version of literature. Right? My mother had literature written in the 60s and 70s for her. In the 80s, it all stopped. So from 1980 to about 1999, when The Coldest Winter Ever came out by Sister Soldier, which changed a lot of things, there was really no books for, if you grew up in a black community, specifically in a working class or poor black community, and you were dealing with some of the things that we were dealing, and in an American city, you were in the city, right? You had to deal with the crack epidemic. You had to deal with the beginning of what we now call HIV/AIDS. And you had to, fortunately, we also had the beginning of what we now know as rap music. Now, those three things make up my entire childhood, and there's not a single book written in my childhood about any of them for me. And so people would always say, like, oh, it doesn't matter if it's like, there are these other books for you. Like, these books are still, it shouldn't matter if it's exactly about it. It's like, you don't understand. I need to see my details. And I think that young people today want to see their details. They want, think about it. When the last time, now you see it a little more often, but when I was growing up, you never saw a book that talked about the kind of sneakers that kids had on, even though sneakers are such a big part of our lives. You never saw it. It was not a thing. To Kill a Mockingbird, Scout never talked about what kind of sneakers he was wearing. I grew up on ramen noodles. I was a ramen noodle baby, a Kool-Aid kid, well-fed peanut butter. You think there were stories about that? I would have loved to have heard a story in the 80s where somebody in the family was drinking Kool-Aid. It would have mattered to me. Even though it's a small detail, it would have hooked me early on because I would have said, oh, they get it, or they see me, right? They know that I exist. They know that what's happening in my family, the way my mama talks, right? I would have loved to have read a book where the mother says, the kid asks the mother a question and the mother responds, first of all, just one time. If the mother say first of all, I was like, boom, there's my mama right there, right? And I did it, right? I did it all in. And so I wanted to make sure for you all that y'all don't have that excuse. Because I didn't have those books, I didn't read anything. And because I didn't read anything, it took me a long time. To understand how much literacy affected my life. Look, when I became more literate, when I started to read more and I got my language up, I put my fist down. There's no reason to use it anymore. I got a mouthpiece. I got language. I can express myself. I can express when I'm angry, when I'm disappointed. But all that came from reading, right? And so my job now is to say, I ain't even worried about the book so much. I'm happy that y'all got these stories. Truth is, though, is that look, whether you like the stories or not, neither here nor there. I just need you to be literate. I need you to understand that your relationship with language is your freedom. Whether you like the stories or not, right? You have to be able to manage a relationship with language. Whatever that language sounds like, you just better be able to use it like a weapon, like a blanket, like a shelter, all those things, because the world out there is waiting to mute you. Right? That's how this works. My job is to make sure the volume is always turned up. And in order to do that, I need to give y'all things that you actually might want to read. It may not be classic, quote unquote. Truth is, I ain't never read them books either. And they didn't make me a worse person for having not read it. It's all good. Let me get you this first so we can get to the extra stuff later on.
Michaela mentioned that we heard a rumor that Long Way Down's been picked up by producer John London. Students were interested in if this is true, and you already confirmed. And then, what are your thoughts? Do you have any hope to add to the creative process, or is that something where you kind of sign off and then it's in someone else's hands, or how does that work?
So yes, Long Way Down is a Universal with John Legend. Ghost in the Track series is also going to TV. Look Both Ways is going to TV. Dudes Who Did Rugrats going to Look Both Ways. I'm mad hype. Hey Arnold and Rugrats, they got Look Both Ways and they're working on it now. So like all of that stuff, All American Boys is going to TV. Everything's going to TV. So of course y'all seen Into the Spider-Verse, so Miles Morales already on the TV. I mean the movies. I don't have nothing to do with none of that. The thing is that I write books for it, right? And I try to make sure, and everybody be like, yo, they're gonna make it into a movie. They're gonna make it into a movie, but you have to understand that to make it into a movie means they have to make it a new thing. It ain't mine no more. I give them the rights to the story, they get to make it whatever they want. I always just tell them, whatever you do not change the race of my characters. Everything else cool, do your thing. Just don't change the race of my, that's very important to me. But the rest of the story, they gotta manipulate it. It's like getting tattoos, you know what I mean? Some of y'all in here, I don't know y'all business, but if you got tattoos, you go to the tattoo man and you say, I want some ridiculous, elaborate thing. And a good tattoo artist is gonna say, that's beautiful. It's gonna be trash for tattoo. So I gotta make it something else to make it work as a tattoo. Same goes for a movie. You can't take a 300-page book and turn it into an 85, 90.
It's a different art form.
And it's one page, and it's basically 1 page, 1 minute. That's how it works. 1 page, 1 minute. So if you got a 90-minute movie, right, which is the average length of a movie, and I've written a 300-page book, you can imagine that there's gonna have to be some cutting, right? So Look Both Ways is gonna happen, but I don't know what it's gonna be like. I hope they do a good job. If they don't, guess what? The book already exists.
You say leave it open-ended? Did you tell them that?
Of course. Of course.
All right, so we have a few other questions for you before we call up our student panel. You seem like you're everywhere, you're traveling a ton, you're writing. How do you manage everything? And also, how do you take care of yourself after an intense travel schedule or writing schedule?
So how do I manage everything? Daily. You see what I look like up here, too. I got like a flu or something. It's bad up here right now. And my body is wild right now on the inside. But I'm here, right? Like this is the gig, this is what it is. I can't claim to love y'all and let a little flu get in the way. It is what it is, right? How do I take care of myself? How do I manage it all? I got a wonderful assistant. I got a wonderful therapist. I got my mama who calls and checks on me and makes sure that I'm eating. And in terms of taking care of myself, look, when I'm home for a day every couple of weeks, 2 days every couple of weeks. I go to my mom's house at the kitchen table, listen to her go on and on about how the printer ain't working or whatever. I call my brothers, I got 2 brothers, older and younger. Let them fill me in on what's going on in their lives. I try to go to the movies as often as possible, go get me a massage, whatever it is, you know what I mean? I try to eat good food, like I eat a lot of food. You know? When I'm home, when I'm traveling, it gets tough, you know what I mean? You find yourself, Tacoma is popular, but usually I might be in some small town in the middle of America, and it's like, well, fried calamari again, you know what I mean? This is what it is, every single night, French fries for dinner. And so you just kind of manage the best you can. I can't lie to you and tell you that I'm doing the best job at it. Right, that's the truth. We gotta deal with our mental health, our mental wellness, and that's real for me too. I got terrible anxiety. I try to manage that because if not, it's hard for me to get up here and do this. These are all very real things. I don't like to pretend with young folks about it being sweet. Like the truth of the matter is that like I live the best life ever, but there's a price to the ticket, and I pay that price every day. It took me 10 hours to get here. 10 hours in the airplane. We had to stop because they had one fuel tank, so we had to stop in Minnesota. We were in Minnesota for 3 hours, and then I got here at 1 o'clock in the morning. Right? And ultimately, guess what? So what? So what? I gotta do what I have to do. I gotta do it for y'all. Your teachers do it all the time. Your teachers be in here in shambles. Right? But they show up and they lay down for y'all. They lay their bodies down for y'all. And we don't do nothing but give them a hard time anyway. Right? But the truth is, a lot of the teachers, and you all know which ones care. You're fully aware of which teachers love you. That's the best part about being young. Y'all know who's full of nonsense and who really is here for you. Just know that those teachers who love you, There are days where they come in here and their lives are exploding outside their school, and they come in here and they lay it down for you because they believe that it's worth it, that you're worth it. And that's what keeps me going more than anything else.
Thank you. I have to admit that question was for me. My mom's here, and she says I have 2 speeds, asleep and 100 miles an hour. And so I'm going to take that advice.
Sure.
Thank you. We were also curious about, so we watched some of your speeches where you're advocating for librarians and libraries. And we have lots of librarians here and teachers here. So I guess selfishly, for us, I just wanted to ask you about kind of the reason why you do that. You could advocate for anybody, but you advocate for libraries, librarians, and teachers.
You know, libraries, so first of all, I did not go to libraries when I was a kid. Libraries were not what they are today. School libraries or public libraries. When I was a kid, we were street kids, so we were outside laughing, joking, and doing whatever else we weren't supposed to be doing. And let's say it started raining or something, we would run into the library, and they would be like, shh, shh. And we'd be like, oh, I guess we can't come in here. If I got to be quiet, I can't come in the library, so we would just go back outside and be in the rain, just, just make it happen, because we just didn't feel like the library was a welcome space for us. It's different now. It's different now. The library is today, it isn't just for the kids who are bookworms, right? The library is sort of we use the term safe space all the time. The library might be the only place that's actually a safe space. Like a real, physical safe space. It's the only place where all of the labels of who you are don't matter, right? High school is full of labels, I'm sure y'all know. High school, everybody gotta fit into a category. So who are you? You the athlete, I just met your quarterback, you take photographs, I was very impressed, right? Because he didn't fit into like this one thing. Right? He's like, no, I could do all these other things. I met a bunch of y'all earlier today. It's like, let's just go. Because when I was in high school, it was like, yo, you a goth kid, you a punk kid, you an athlete, you an artist, you a cheerleader, you a cool kid, you a funny kid, right? It's always something that you gotta fall into as a way for everybody else to better manage you and understand who it is you are. The library, whoever you are in the hallway no longer matters. Everybody in the library gets to be on the same level, despite the hierarchy of high school. Y'all know this hierarchy exists, right? This nonsense hierarchy of high school among students, who's cool and who's not, who's this and who's that, who comes from the east side, who comes from this side, who comes from, right? All this, that, and the third, right? In the library, none of it matters. In the library, nothing matters except for the fact that you're in that space. And in that space, you get to be whoever you want to be, not who they keep projecting onto you. And you got all this information around you to support whoever you want to be. Whether you read those books or not, that's on you. But the librarian is basically the arbiter of that truth. They're the people who can say, look, I know who you are in here. I know who you pretend to be out there. But I can give you books or information or whatever they got, resources to let you know that it's okay to be whoever it is you are. It's also okay for you to hide it, by the way. I don't ever want you to believe that you gotta be whoever it is that you choose to be out loud. That's your choice, your life. You get to do whatever you want to do. But our job is to make sure that you know that you're loved and you're supported, and that whoever you think you are, in whatever context, we have the information to let you know that that person is okay.
Thank you, Jason. I have more questions, but we're running out of time, and I want to honor our students who have prepared questions for you. So I would like to call up Amaya, July, and Janiyah up to the stage.